Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 14 of my Football Manager 24 save with Bradford City. If you do go on to enjoy today's episode, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could generate 25 likes on today's video, that'd be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you are new as well. We are now on the road to 2,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed. If you haven't already, with that post notification bell on, it's free to do so, and it does massively help out. Get your thoughts in as well down in the comment section down below. We've made 4 new signings. We've also seen 3 major departures as well. I'm really excited to show you how we've been getting on as well in the league. Since the match against Leeds United, we went on a really poor run of form, but we seem to have turned it around recently. We've got 2 more games coming up for you in today's episode, so make sure to drop a like on there for me. Subscribe if you are new as well. And let's get into it. If we start out firstly then with our departures, Callum Cisse left the club to join at Northampton Town. He was basically moaning and complaining that I was playing him out of position and he wanted a new contract with the football club, so I thought, you know what, I'll offer him out and see if we get any offers in for him. Northampton Town decided to pay £31,000 for him, so I thought, why not just let him go there? They are obviously in our league and he's done quite well there, to be fair, so far. We were playing him out of position for the large part, only made the 4 starts in the first half of the season. Last year did okay out on loan with Rochdale in the National League, maybe one we will come to regret, but I think he was 2.5 star current ability with only 3 star potential, so I was happy to see the back of him, to be honest with you. He was just moaning and we needed his wages off the wage bill. Maybe a bit of a surprise, but Sam Stubbs has left the club on a permanent deal. Again, he was a player complaining about wanting a new contract with the club, and Plymouth came in and offered 250 grand for him, and they're obviously in the division above. They did a similar thing with Lewis Richards at the start of the campaign, and to be honest with you, to get 250 grand in for someone who was complaining and kind of causing a little bit of unrest around the dressing room when he'd only been performing at a 6.79 this season, only a 6.85 in the previous campaign, I was kind of happy to see the back of him, to be honest with you. I think he was 3 star current ability, 4 star potential. He's a decent player. He's actually gone there on less money and on the same length contract, even though he's complaining about wanting more money with Bradford City. Doesn't really make any sense, but Sam Stubbs has left for 250 grand. And the final major departure was Viden Oliver. He has joined MK Dons on a free transfer. Now, we had to pay him £15,000 to get his wages off the wage bill, but we just didn't need him anymore. He was on 4 grand a week and he's been absolutely awful over the last couple of seasons. Failed to kick a ball throughout the whole of last season whilst out on loan at Stevenage, then also only kicked a football once for Bradford City this season, and it was when we had a couple striker injuries and we were battering a team, I think 4-0 at half time, so we just brought him on to help see the game out. That was it. He's gone to MK Dons, hasn't played there since, and we're now near the start of March, so happy to get his wages off the wage bill despite having to pay him 15 grand to let him go. In terms of some of our signings then, Ato Amper has joined on loan from Chelsea for the remainder of the campaign. He's going to come in and provide some competition for Brad Halliday in that right wing back position. I think we're only paying £700 per week towards his wages. He's also out of a contract with Chelsea in the summer, so maybe one that we can look to try and get on a permanent deal in the summer. He's currently got a 6.88 average rating, scored on his debut. His other games since then haven't been particularly amazing, but we needed some competition in that position, and he's also very versatile. Joe Anderson joined the club on loan for the remainder of the season to provide some competition in that position, which Eli Campbell obviously has left. He's played 7 games so far and got a 6.71 average rating, which isn't great. We also paid an £82,000 loan fee because we're only contributing £1,500 per week towards his wages. That is actually all of his wages. He's contracted with Sunderland until the end of next season. They've got the option of a further year. I think a permanent deal is unlikely, but a very good left-sided centre-half to bring in on loan. Yes, we've had to pay a little bit in terms of a loan fee, but 82 grand considering the amount of money we've got in this season, I don't really mind that too much, to be fair. Gerard Hartlock was available for quite cheap, but from Blackburn Rovers. I think he was out of contract with the football club this summer, so we managed to snap him up for £13,500, which I'm quite happy with, to be honest with you. Blackburn for some reason paid £1,100 to get rid of him with an intermediary fee, but he's come in on a 2.5-year contract on £1,200 per week, can play midfield or at right back, can play anywhere across the front 3, over on the left side as well. Very versatile, 3 star current ability, 4 star potential. He's got the potential to play in the Championship. To pick him up for so cheap, I think it just made sense really for all parties. He spent the first half of the season out on loan at Oldham, and to be fair, did okay there in all honesty. And our final signing saw Lewis Freestone join the football club on a long-term contract, 3.5-year deal for the 20 25-year-old. £1,400 per week. We paid at Cheltenham £60,000, which will eventually rise up to £69,000. In his 4 games so far, he's done okay, to be fair, much better than how he'd done in the first half of the season with Cheltenham. Really happy to get him in. Again, left footed, provides some competition. He was kind of our Sam Stubbs replacement, and I'm really happy to get him in through the door. In terms of how we've been getting on then, since you were last with us, the thing that I didn't want to happen after that Leeds defeat was to go on a really bad losing run. Then we lost 4 on the bounce. 2-1 defeat away at Crawley, 3-1 defeat at home to Cheltenham, 3-0 defeat away at Walsall, 4-1 defeat away at Grimsby. Evan Goulou getting sent off in that game. But we managed to turn things around though with a 3-1 win at home to Gillingham, a 4-2 win at home to Newport, a 2-0 win away at Sutton, a disappointing 1-1 draw away at Forest Green, and a 2-0 win at home to Salford City. In today's episode then, we have Accrington Stanley at home. They currently find themselves 23rd in the table, and also Doncaster Rovers away. They currently find themselves 13th in the table. So on paper, probably looking at 4 points, maybe even 6 as well, and I'm really excited to see how we get on between now and the remainder of the campaign. We're currently 4th in the table, 3 points behind 3rd place Mansfield, and we are coming at them like a steam train. I think catching Shrewsbury is unrealistic, maybe even Notts County as well, but I definitely do think we can catch Mansfield. There is only a 2-point gap though between us and 8th, so we have to make sure we continue our good form. Let's waste no further time then and get into the first game of today's episode. Here we have it then. Here's how we line up for the first game of today's episode. We've got McLaughlin in goal, a back 3 of Evan Goulou, Freestone and Anderson, with Amper and Lewis as the wing backs. Patterson and Harlock starting in the midfield. Patterson's been complaining about his lack of game time, so I'm happy to bring him back into the side for the next couple of matches. Harlock obviously getting the start because we do have a couple fatigue and injuries to the likes of Bakinson and we are Pointing on the right, Diamond on the left, and Andy Cook leading the line. I think I'm actually going to make a last minute change here, bring Ferguson in for Lewis, because obviously Lewis is a little bit tired coming into this match, and Ferguson, to be fair to him, has been outstanding this season. Brought in as a fullback to compete with Lewis, and he's actually going to be leaving the club this summer. That's something that I actually wasn't aware of, which is disappointing because he got 10 goal contributions in 14 starts, but unfortunately he is going to be leaving the club. That's something I actually wasn't made aware of. Is Kieran Kelly, did he decide, yeah, he's going to be joining Derry in the summer? We knew about it a couple episodes ago. I just decided in the end to not give him that new contract when we got Lewis Freestone in, so a couple of players already are going to be leaving the club and I wasn't even made aware of it. Let's focus though on this match at home to Accrington Stanley. Yes, the second bottom, but we have struggled against these sort of sides. You know, like if this finishes 0-0, I certainly wouldn't be surprised because defensively we're very solid against these teams, but we always just can't quite break them down and get that goal. They're going to be scrapping for their lives, especially at this point in the season. Your league position kind of goes out the window because they're thinking, right, it's do or die for us at this point. We need to start picking up some results or we are going to be relegated, especially when they're 3 points adrift, having played a game more. So we need an early goal in this one, preferably. Ferguson shoots from distance, and that's not too far away. I think it's saved in the end by the goalkeeper. I thought it clipped the outside of the post. Harlock will take this corner. Right-footed in-swinger towards that front post, cleared up by Fernandez, only as far as Harlock. A little bit of space for him here. 90 seconds on the clock. Freestone picks it up, but that is the end of that highlight. Coming forward again here with Harlock. Out wide to Bobby Poynton. Amper now. Harlock looking over the top for Poynton. Ball across, looking for Cook. Slightly overhit, and that will be cleared as far as Ferguson clips it back in there. Looking for Andy Cook, who powers home his 14th goal of the season. Really nice play there from Shane Ferguson. I think if we're in League 2 next season, I'll probably give him another year, because yes, his star rating's not amazing. He's 33, 34 now, but he's had the output this season going forward. 4 goals and now 7 assists for him in 15 league starts this season. That is a brilliant return. And also Andy Cook as well. There's maybe been some doubters about him in the comment section, but he's been absolutely excellent for me in the games that he has played for the large part this season, and we now go level on points with 3rd place, but we have played a game more. Accrington with the ball at the back here. Fernandez finds Kroll, looking for that ball into midfield. It's really nice play here from Accrington. Lee finds it in to Stritch. Little bit of time and he goes back into Kroll. He's going to look a bit nervous on the ball. Longello down the line into Pritchard. Stritch picks it up once more and finds Tommy Lee. Rumours he could be joining Burton in real life at the moment. Martin now looks for Trickett in behind. Really nice ball. Shot comes in well wide in the end. Not really troubling John McLaughlin, which probably should be doing from there in all honesty. Throwing for us over on the far side. Poynton picks it up and finds Harlock. A little bit of time to come inside and find Patterson. Gets away from his man, looks for a ball out wide. It's a pretty poor pass in the end though, and Accrington will be able to come forward here on the counter. Stritch finds it into Trickett. Lee now on the ball. Finds it back into Stritch. Good tackle there from Harlock, and that is why we brought him in on the long-term contract. I'm excited to see how he does progress over the next couple of seasons. Lee Evans is a man who has kind of been frozen out of the squad. He's now, I think, 6th choice holding midfielder. I think he's on about £4.5 grand a week as well. He's just kind of not had the output that we needed this season. That's a brilliant save. That's a brilliant double save from the goalkeeper. Goodness me. Normally, in the lower leagues of Football Manager, your goalkeepers might as well be pointless. And I know they weren't exactly both in the corner, them shots, but that is still a really, really good double save from the Accrington goalkeeper. Approaching the half an hour mark, Accrington looking to build out from the back once more. Lee out wide onto this near side. Can we get a tackle in maybe? Just back to Lee Evans. He's not like he's been awful this season, but for the money he's on, we tried to get him out in January. No one was really interested in him. I think he's out of a contract this summer. I'm hoping that he is anyway, because we are not going to be looking to renew that. We've got better younger players in at the moment. Jack Diamond now, a very underwhelming season for him so far, hampered by injuries, and that cross kind of just sums him up. He's having a decent game in this one, but on the whole, his time at Bradford City definitely has not been a success. I think Cabia, I can't quite remember his name off the top of my head, has certainly been much better, but Pritchard coming forward with the ball here. Good tackle from Amper, only as far as Stritch, who can hit them from there, and Zach Stritch, the number 45 for Accrington, levels things up. We've half an hour nearly gone on the clock. It wasn't an amazing tackle from Amper, and we kind of lost it in a pretty poor area. Disappointing goal to concede there. I don't think McLaughlin should be getting beaten from that distance. We were just talking about goalkeepers there, weren't we? What's he, about 20, 25 yards out, something like that? And you compare their double save that their goalkeeper made to that poor attempt from John McLaughlin. He has been massively underwhelming so far this season. Diamond now cuts inside and finds Harlock. Cook, ball through here to Bobby Poynton, who puts us back in front. His 5th goal of the season. He's not played that much football recently because Beaumont Clark was complaining about his lack of game time. And to be fair, when we started him, he had then been producing, and Poynton had gone through a little bit of a rough patch, to be fair. Back on the score sheet though, with his 5th of the season. An assist for Andy Cook, and it's almost an instant response there. We didn't even have time to encourage the boys after conceding, and we now find ourselves back in front. We could do with a third though, just before half time, and hopefully it comes here. Alex Patterson having a good game. That's what we like to see. A player getting his chance, taking it, and he might find himself remaining in this side, because Jensen Weir, good player on big money, won't say he's been massively important to our team though so far this season. 5 minutes to go then until half time. We've comfortably been the better side so far, but they are playing that 4-2-3-1, which we absolutely dread playing against. And here we have probably the final highlight of this first half. Freestone on the ball here. 6.6 match rating for him so far, and he's a little bit tired, so he might be contender for being substituted very soon, as Anderson will go inside to Harlock. Little bit of room to find Poynton. Can he find Amper on the overlap? He can. Ball cut back here for Andy Cook, and somehow that's not gone in the back of the net. It's brilliant football from Bradford City, but somehow, again, I don't know if it was the goalkeeper or it was a block, it's not found the back of the net. Half time, Bradford 2, Accrington 1. That was a very good first half performance. Keep it up. Moving on then into the second half, I'm hoping that we can get an early goal in this second half to kill things off, and then we can start making more substitutions, just because while it's still 2-1, we're battering them, but you never really know what can happen in football. An hour now on the clock, I'm going to look to make a double substitution. Andy Cook is looking very tired, so Ryan Cassidy is going to come on in his place to lead the line, and we'll put him as an advance forward. We're also going to bring on Brad Halliday, who hasn't played for a while, for Amper over on that right hand side. I think Halliday needed a little bit of a rest after the amount of football he'd had to play so far this season. Giving him 2, 3, 4 weeks rest, I think, was something that he certainly did need. I'm praising them, and the boys are not particularly happy, so we could do with another goal. Let's hope it comes here. Poynton cuts inside on that dangerous left foot and gives it away though far too easily. Good tackle though to win it back. He finds Cassidy, beats his man, shoots, and he finds the back of the net. Ryan Cassidy has had to play second fiddle for the large part this season, because when he has played, I wouldn't say he's massively impressed. I don't know how many league goals he's got, but I think a few of them have been in the cup, to be fair. Poynton with a nice pass into Cassidy. That's a really nice turn to get away from the defender. I think the goalkeeper should probably save that. It's not got the most amount of power in the world on that strike. He can't keep it out though. Bradford City 3, Accrington Stanley 1. Harlock is now going to come off for Charlie Lakin in that midfield. We're going to play him as the ball winner, move Patterson to be the deep line playmaker, and Callum Cam Cavan, who's also going to come on for Jack Diamond on that left-hand side. To be fair, he's not had a bad game. Diamond has certainly played a lot worse so far this season, but I think this game probably is beyond doubt now. Another goal would definitely confirm that, as Anderson finds Patterson. He's having a solid game so far, is Patterson. I'm going to give him a little bit of credit. Halliday, early ball in, cleared away by Fernandez, only as far as Quirk. Over in that far corner, he's got a load of time to send the ball on. Can we win that header? We can, but Ferguson picks up the second ball. Kavanagh now cuts away from his man, lays it off here to Charlie Lakin. The two substitutes combining. Pointer now cuts it back into Lakin, square into Patterson. Lovely football. Halliday's shot in the end is blazed well over the bar, but that was really, really nice football from us there, and definitely deserves some praise. So that the next opportunity that I get, I'm certainly going to give them some, because that was absolutely beautiful to watch. That's the type of style of play that I certainly want to be implementing into my side. So we are now going to bring off Alex Patterson for Lee Evans, give him the last 10 minutes or so, because I don't want him to be unhappy, because he's still been a good servant to this football club, but I don't think he's really good enough in terms of the long term to take us forward, in my opinion. But Halliday with this throw in here. 3 minutes left on the clock before the additional time does come through. Lakin goes back into Evangulu. Halliday finds Lakin, little bit of space. Evans now, can he pick a pass? He's going to hit one, and he's going to find the back of the net. Maybe that's two fingers stuck up to me. I mean, he puts two hands up into the sky there, and it's Bradford City 4, Accrington Stanley 1. That's an absolutely outstanding finish, to be fair, from Lee Evans. That's the type of reaction that I want from my players. You get dropped, and then you end up coming up with a goal like that. He's found himself 6th choice central midfielder, but if he's going to score goals like that every other game, I think he's going to find himself back in my plans probably sooner than what he thinks. That's the type of thing Alex Patterson could have done with scoring in this one. Anderson now finds Freeston. Can we get a fifth to put the icing on top of the cherry, on top of the cake? It looks like actually Accrington are going to come forward on the counter-attack here. Kroll with a little bit of time, plays it into Oyatunde. Loads of room here, and Kennedy now finds Stritch. Ball through to Martin. It's fallen through here to Trickett, who can score from there, and he does. Lewis Trickett with his 5th goal of the season. Number 15, I think. I was going to say number 5 then. I'm pretty sure no, it's number 15 on his back. He slots that one into the back of the net. It's a disappointing goal to concede. 5-1 would have looked much better than 4-2. It's a nice finish. McLaughlin, can't really complain to him about that one, to be honest with you. 6 minutes added on at the end of today's game. We should hopefully be able to see this one out pretty comfortably. There is the full-time whistle. No? Are we ever going to have the full-time whistle? There is the full-time whistle. Bradford City 4, Accrington Stanley 2. A great win for us. Bobby Poynton and Andy Cook sharing the man of the match in that one. Really happy with how that game finished up. That was about as good a win as you like to see. Lovely stuff. Let's move on into the second game of today's episode. Here we have it then. Here's how we line up for the second game of today's episode away at Doncaster Rovers. We've got McLaughlin in goal. A back three of Nate, Evangulu and Anderson. We have agreed a new one-year contract with Richard Nate to last until the summer of 2026. I think it's on £1,800 per week. It might be 1,600, but I'm pretty sure it is 18. So he's had a slight increase in his pay, but over the last 2 seasons so far, I do think he has been a pretty solid defender for us, so I'm not too concerned with that. He's partnered with Evangulu and Anderson though, as I just said. Amper and Lewis as your wing backs, with Weir and Evans in the midfield. Like I was just saying there, Lee Evans found himself a 6th choice central midfielder. Now he's coming back in and starting, because I think if a player takes his opportunity and takes his chance, he deserves to start the next game. We've got Beaumont Clark and Cabia on the wings, with Cassidy leading the line, so a fully fresh front three for us. But again, lots of football around this time of the season, so you do need to keep rotating your players, keep them fit, keep them available, and keep them fresh. Jack Diamond obviously not happy about being left out, but at this moment in time I do think it is for the best. He's not necessarily performed this season. If we get promoted, we get a suitable offer in for him. I think he's somebody who could certainly be moving on from the football club. Let's get underway then for today's game. Hopefully we can pick up another 3 points and make it just as comfortable really as what it was as the last match. And it's an early highlight here for Doncaster. Good interception there though from Lee Evans. A little bit of time and he goes down the line into Beaumont Clark. Good first touch to get away from his defender. Cuts it back into Evans. Amper now, the Chelsea loanee, finds Evans, goes into the box, and the referee has pointed to the penalty. It looked soft, it looked harsh. An opportunity here for Ryan Cassidy to open the scoring with 5 minutes on the clock. Penalty won by Lee Evans, and Ryan Cassidy converts, sends his the wrong way. He missed his last penalty. We saw that a couple episodes ago, but Ryan Cassidy has his 10th goal of the season, leading the line in today's game, because Andy Cook is a little bit fatigued after the last match, and that's a really nice, cool penalty from Ryan Cassidy to send the keeper the wrong way, and an an early goal, which is exactly what we needed. Put the pressure on Mansfield as well. I think as it stands, does that mean we go up to third in the table, or is the table maybe not updated? There is actually only 8 games left of the season, so the next episode will probably come back for the promotion running, which I'm really looking forward to. Hopefully we're still in it by that point and we've not completely bottled it and find ourselves in mid-table. 25 minutes on the clock then, corner ball to come in, cleared away at the front post, only as far as Beaumont Clark, and he swings the ball in looking for Cassidy, cleared away by McGrath, only as far as Amper. Very good signing for us so far, and there is an example why he's crossing into that box is outstanding. You can tell he's a winger playing at wing back. His delivery into the box is absolutely sensational, and Amper with a deep ball in towards the back post, and I'm pretty sure it's Beaumont Clark who's got the end of it there. I was in too much awe of the cross to notice who scored. It's Beaumont Clark. We saw Poynton score in the last game. He's found himself on the bench in this one again because a little bit of fatigue. Beaumont Clark comes in and starts, scores on the score sheet just before the half an hour mark. It's Doncaster Rovers 0, Bradford City 2, and it's definitely deserved. We've absolutely battered them in this game so far. We are flying. Evans picks up the ball here off of Weir. Anderson now finds Evans, little bit of time, and he goes back into Nate. Beaumont Clark back into Nate. Now the ball is out wide to Cabby. A low ball in is cleared away by Olowu. Only as far as close. Little bit of time for him to pick out Flynn in the midfield. Good inception there from Amper. He finds Beaumont Clark to hit one onto the top of the net. In 38 minutes on the clock then, it's still 2-0. Doncaster haven't had a sniff all game so far, and it looks like we're going to put on some more pressure here. They're sat in a 4-3-3, but it's only their striker who's in front of the ball really, and even now he's behind it. Evangulu finds Nate into Evans. Good first time ball around the corner to Beaumont Clark, and I think that's probably a chance he's got to score, to be fair. Lee Evans unlucky not to pick up an assist, and that was a pretty poor finish in the end from Beaumont Clark. We're approaching that half-time mark. Can we get a third maybe before the break? Cabby at the back post cuts it back in for Lewis. Ball across is deflected and nearly finds its way into the back of the net. I must admit, is it Adam Lewis? I want to say Adam Lewis, the left back we signed, hasn't massively impressed me so far this season. We'll have a look at half-time at his statistics, how many goals and assists that he has achieved this season, because I don't think it's anywhere near Shane Ferguson's record, which is disappointing. 2-0 up though at the break. We'll tell them that obviously that was a very, very good first half performance. You're doing brilliantly. Keep going. In terms of Adam Lewis, we'll have a quick look at him here. Obviously, we signed him in the summer after he was released by Liverpool. 2 goals, 2 assists in 18 starts. Nowhere near, really, the numbers that Shane Ferguson has put up so far this season. So, again, if we get promoted, there might be a position that we look to improve. Well, we're going to need to sign someone in that position anyway, because obviously we know Ferguson will be leaving the football club. I'm predicting here, Lee Evans, back of the net. This is going to be 3-0. And number 12 steps up with a 5-man wall to beat. And obviously, a man in blue as well. He steps up, strikes, and he goes at the keeper's near post. It's rare you see on Football Manager, when a free kick is that close, it doesn't find the back of the net. The goalkeeper will be massively disappointed that he's been beaten on what you would class as his side. His positioning there is very poor, but Evans has wrapped that into the top corner. An outstanding finish from our number 12. But maybe if he keeps up this form between now and the end of the season, he might get another year. You never really know. It looks like Mansfield are losing their game as well now, so we got level on points with them. The only reason why they're still ahead of us is because of our goal difference. Again, if that comes back to bite us, because of our form at the start of the campaign, I'm not going to be particularly happy. But we will now look to make a couple of substitutions. Adam Lewis is going to come off for Shane Ferguson in at that midfield. Jensen Weir is also going to come off for Charlie Lake, and he'll play as that ball-winning midfielder. I'm also going to bring Lewis Freestone on for Joe Anderson. It's a position he's not played yet on the left of a 3. He has played in the centre in every one of his games. It's nice to see Evangulu having a good game, considering he's been paid nearly £6,000 a week until the end of next season. I think, again, if we maybe... I think whatever happens at the end of this season, there's going to be a big rebuild in the summer, because the summer just gone by, I've offered big wages out really to players who have been okay for us this season, but haven't majorly stood out, in all honesty, and I think I do want to rebuild that going into next season. Let's make our final 2 changes of the game. I'm thinking about maybe bringing Evangulu off, because he's very tired and he has now dropped down to a 6.9. Can anyone play there, though, who's on the bench? No, which is a little bit of a concern. We are going to now bring on Harlock in that midfield for Lee Evans, just because he's on a booking and we don't want him to end up seeing red. Andy Cook is also going to come on for Ryan Cassidy and lead the line for the last 15 minutes plus stoppage time, whatever is left in this game. It's 3-0. The game's definitely done. We're picking up back-to-back wins in today's episode, which I am very, very pleased with. I just hope that Mansfield start conceding a couple more, but it looks like they've actually equalised in their match, unfortunately. We'll give the team one final piece of praise between now and the remainder of this game. Doncaster grew into it a little bit in the second half, but it wasn't really much contest. 7 minutes added on at the end of today's game. Chesterfield back in the playoffs after getting promoted last season. Mansfield were away at Forest Green, and this one looks like they've drawn 1-1. 3-0 win for us. A win and a good performance. That'll do for me. Very, very impressed with what I've seen in today's game. And as you can see, we end today's episode. 8 games to go. 1 point is the gap, but also the goal difference is pretty poor as well. So technically 2 points. Harrogate ended up turning it around against Cambridge, and they remain in the playoffs at the moment. But it's very tight at the top of the table. I'm looking forward to see how that promotion running does go. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there then for today's video. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could try and hit 25 likes. As I said at the start of today's video, that would be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you are new as well. We're now on the road to 2,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already, with that post notification bell on. It's free to do so, and it does massively help out. Former Carlisle United manager Paul Simpson is coming in as a coach for the next 3 seasons until 2028 on £950. Who would have ever thought that? Maybe in real life on the 3rd of March 2025 I would be Bradford City first team manager and Paul Simpson would be one of my coaches. That is crazy to think. Get your thoughts in as well down in the comment section down below on my transfer business. Incomings, outgoings. I think there was 4 incomings, 3 outgoings. Let me know all your thoughts down below. Richard Nate makes the team of the week. I'll obviously try and keep you updated if he does sign a new contract. All the other players out of a deal I don't think are going to get offered a new contract at this time, but there will be big movement coming up this summer as well. Thank you all for watching. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you all hopefully very soon for the final episode, potentially, of season 2. Hopefully we get autos, but who knows, we might have to go through the playoffs again.